Alright, just getting set up here this morning. It is Friday, March 14th, just before 9 a.m., and we are going to talk about the latest for the severe weather potential later on this afternoon into the evening hours. So, again, this is a timely kind of matter with the latest update from the Storm Prediction Center as of this morning, expanding the area under a moderate risk, that level 4 out of 5 risk, meaning that some severe weather is very likely for those in red. Potentially a severe weather outbreak too. I think the Storm Prediction Center was mentioning that strong tornadoes, several of which could be EF2 or higher, damaging straight line winds 75 to 100 miles per hour, and up to baseball size hail will be possible for those closer to St. Louis through the Mississippi River and into the Ohio River Valley of southeast Missouri, southern Illinois, and western Kentucky. So if you've got friends and family out that way, I start by saying make sure they're weather aware tonight. This is going to happen during a vulnerable time late tonight when the sun goes down. Nighttime tornadoes are not a thing to mess around with. This will be something significant to prepare themselves for if you know anybody out that way. But of course, I'm here to talk about Nebraska's risk for severe weather because we are where the thunderstorms will fire up and where the setup for severe weather starts as this dynamic system is strengthening today. Thunderstorms and the ingredients for thunderstorms are coming together this afternoon. So the main timing for these thunderstorms to get going will be from 2 o'clock this afternoon through 6 o'clock. That will be the time to be severe weather aware. You'll see the update as of this morning has Lincoln and Omaha now included in enhanced level 3 out of 5 risk, that orange color, meaning that numerous severe thunderstorms are possible. The main threats will actually be damaging wind gusts exceeding 75 miles per hour here as a band of thunderstorms tries to organize to produce some straight line winds, but can't rule out a couple brief isolated tornadoes and some hail. So let's look at those individual threats. This is the tornado risk that has now increased to include Lincoln and Omaha. We're going to get my arrow right back up here so you can see what I'm talking about. So this brown shaded area that you see far eastern Nebraska is in, that means 5%, there's a 5% chance of a tornado happening for anybody in that area within 25 miles per hour, 25 miles of a point. Meaning there is a small chance for a tornado, but there could be a couple embedded in what we're going to see in a line developing this afternoon. And can't rule out that as a threat, something to keep in mind. The damaging wind threat, though, does look significant and to be the primary threat out of all of this. As you're looking at those black hash marks, it's a large area of eastern Nebraska looking at wind gusts that could be exceeding 75 miles per hour. The colors, though, as you go from yellow to red, increasing confidence. So Lincoln and Omaha in a higher probability to see some of those damaging winds from 2 to 6 p.m. tonight. And then can't rule out some hail that could be up to an inch to an inch and a half in diameter from eastern Nebraska into western Iowa. So let's look at Stormcast. This is one of our latest versions as of this morning. Going ahead toward noon today across southeast Nebraska, initial signs of clouds should be bubbling up and some thunderstorms trying to get going. They try to organize a little bit more, moving north to northeast toward Nebraska City and Iowa and Missouri. You'll see just to the east of Lincoln, this is by about 2 o'clock. So east of us toward Cass and Odo counties to start out the afternoon. Then we jump to 4 o'clock. All of those thunderstorms that were right here toward Nebraska City have now become this mess toward Omaha and extending back almost toward Columbus. It just looks like a mess of thunderstorms. So there could be each of those severe weather threats within that. But what we're mainly watching, I think, after about 4 o'clock is this arcing band of thunderstorms coming out of Kansas and pushing into southeast Nebraska this afternoon, evening, between 4 and 6 o'clock. Could be on our doorstep here in Lincoln as soon as about 4 or 5 o'clock. And then you also see the organization into Iowa and Missouri heading into this evening. This is what really gets going beyond here and pushes further east into tonight. Then 7 o'clock, this severe threat is diminishing We still have some rain through northeast Nebraska, even back through Lincoln. So hopefully some good old-fashioned thunderstorms. Not worrying about severe weather by this point. Just getting some rain, some cold air, eventually switching this over to snow in northern Nebraska into Saturday morning. Winds will still be significant. We've been talking about this through this week and talking about this dynamic strong low pressure system. You'll see that winds by this afternoon are approaching 40 to 45 miles per hour here in southeast Nebraska. But then look at western Nebraska. You got wind gusts out of the northwest around 50 to 60 miles per hour. They'll be in a high wind warning with that potential this afternoon through Saturday afternoon, especially as these are expanding overnight tonight into Saturday morning. The time we're all waking up Saturday morning, maybe around 8 a.m., 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts out of the northwest, working in some cooler air across the area and some of those winds persisting through the afternoon. Here's a look at the latest high wind warnings. There is a wind advisory for a few counties to the south and east of Lincoln. Those are about Richardson, Omaha, and Pawnee counties from 1 o'clock through 7 o'clock tonight. Here's the latest on some potential for moisture. We really need the moisture. It doesn't look to be a lot because these are quick moving storms. And then the snow on the backside through northern Nebraska isn't going to be a lot. In fact, this system I think is overall trended to be a little bit warmer, so that's cut into some of the potential snow through Saturday morning. So high, I have about 49 degrees on Saturday, then warming to about 80 degrees again by St. Patrick's Day. Sunday and Monday will be a much needed break between systems as another system looks to swing through Tuesday into Wednesday. Not done with the winter weather potential yet. That looks to be a wintry mix, transitioning over to some snow into Wednesday, so keeping an eye on that because that could be another period that we transition from 70s to 40s before spring starts next Thursday.